We've seen this chart pattern twice before in the history of Bitcoin, and both times it was before a huge move to the upside. Is this formation going to be valid this time, or is it going to be a giant fake out with a huge dump coming up? And in this episode, I'm going to use our indicator set to show us exactly how to measure that this is really happening this time. Finally, we'll wrap up with what is really going on with altcoins, and the answer might surprise you, so you definitely want to stay tuned right to the end. We have seen this exact chart pattern only twice before in the history of Bitcoin. Back in April of 2019, I created a video that showed this very same pattern showing up in May of 2016. And in both of those prior circumstances, Bitcoin prices surged dramatically higher from there. I'm going to explain why this price action is going to be a big move to the upside, and I'm going to show you with 3 different indicators. If we start off just looking at the 1-hour charts, we can see that we do have a potential 1, 2, 3 formation setting up here. It is making a little potential 1, 2, 3 formation here as well, but we are getting rejection wicks from these candles, which tells me that this is still building to go higher. When we take a look at the longs versus the shorts, we can see the shorts are still way down. They have not picked up a place, figuring that this is going to be dumping from here. Jumping into the weekly RSI, the thing that I'm looking at now is that our exponential moving average is getting ready to cross. Though we have a bit of a reversal wick going on here in the weekly candle, we do see the RSI is coming up into ranges that hold the bull trend. If we get up above that now and hold, we're going to be in a bull trend for quite a while above these levels. Breaking below that, though, is going to show us that we do have a top here and that this trend line might be important as we're going through, but breaking above those levels is phenomenal. Let's go into the daily RSI to see what we're going on here. It's moved up to overbought territory, but still has a lot more room to pop into overbought territory before it's really extreme here. So let's go into the 12-hour. It is more extreme and giving us a bit of a divergence here, but the 12-hour also can still pop much higher yet. And so while we do have a good run up in the 12-hour RSI, if we are in the bull trend, we're going to go sideways, and the 12-hour RSI is going to pull all the way back to get ready for the next snap up. So as we see these parallel trends down and we're going sideways, it's going to really line us up to a great takeoff point. So let's zoom in on this. The 4-hour RSI does much the same thing. We can really see it trending down into a channel that gives us the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation breakout that really confirmed our pillar bottom and the 1, 2, 3 bottom shape up setting up here. We came back to bullish support all the way along in the RSI, and so long as we're staying in these levels, down to these levels and then going up, it is continuation of the bull trend for now. So what we'll watch for the break of that bull trend is this parallel channel now topping out and giving us a 1, 2, 3 top. This could be it. We could be topping out, and should the RSI be breaking down further, we'll watch for it to break below the bear trend channel that we have going on here. As we move into the weekly MACD indicator, we see we've got a cross to the positive, and we did here as well, but we had a lot more sideways action before we had the big move up. Right now, we are really surging, and should this continue, that absolutely gives us some top projections that are beyond what we've seen here before. We can take basic Fibonacci extensions and sort of play this out to see how high this might have gone from the high to the low here. And we can do the same type of thing from the high to the low here and give us some extensions that really suggest that we are going to be hitting the 14,000 level. And should we get this kind of move, you can see here that the histograms are going to stay positive all the way along. We're going to be parallel arms upward, and we're going to move in a couple waves before we hit that top. And as we hit the top, we're going to be seeing the histogram starting to fade off as we're building out the 1, 2, 3 top formation. So, and should we get that kind of move, we can just grab this piece of chart and move it over. We can expect to be hitting all-time highs in August. Given that we could be hitting those all-time highs in August, we should be able to map out exactly what the 12-hour, the daily are going to be doing in this MACD. Here we are, positive histograms going up. And the main thing I'm watching for now is any weakness in these histograms turning different colors. In the 12-hour time frame, it's already turned and starting to come back and cross negative, which could give us a pullback from this point here. Let's go into the 4-hour. It's crossed negative, but this is giving us the oscillation for the uptrend, that it's giving us parallel arms down, and then when it crosses, that will be the takeoff. We could be going sideways until this breaks itself down to the breach. And so as we move into the 1 hour, we're watching for that breach to play itself out. The 1 hour will cross first if we are going to be holding up above these levels, or it's going to continue with these histograms going deeper as we collapse below these levels. So now we have some clean lines in the relative strength index and here in the MACD. On the 15-minute time frame, this will cross first positive and break above these levels, and then the 1 hour is going to follow, and we are going up if those things are happening. When we go into the weekly on balance volume, this is really important to see that it is relatively doing great compared to what we saw in the past. But it is also really important for me to change this over to the BTS USDT chart. You can see how much more volume there is in the USDT market compared to just USD market over on Bitstamp. That means that Binance is where most of the trading is going on. You can really see huge volume on this. So as we zoom in, the volume is consistent all the way along. And this is much better volume than we had back here in the past. We are stronger volume when we're looking at this chart. And if we go to the other chart, we are consistent volume. As we go into the 12-hour time frame, we see that this really pulled back, almost gave us what we thought was a top formation building out here, but then the volume kicked right in. So it really is proving continuation of this, and it still seems like we're going to get more. That's a lot of steady volume coming in here through this period. As we go into the 1 hour time frame, we can see that there's been a couple little dumps going on and that the volume is less across these tops here, and yet I'm still really watching. If this volume continues and we crack and we see the MACD going negative and the RSI crossing negative, then we'll know that this is going to be going back a little bit more before we're going higher. One indicator that is giving us a different view is the Ichimoku Cloud. And there was a time I almost quit using the Ichimoku Cloud because it wasn't agreeing with the rest of the indicators. Then it turned out to kick my ass. So I'm really paying attention to the fact that this indicator right here is split bearish. And even this red cloud is going wider bearish rather than flipping and going bullish here on the weekly time frame for the Ichimoku. As we go into the daily time frame, this is fully bullish. We have all four indicators. The blue is above the red, the cloud is green, the price is above the cloud, and the trailing indicator has cut through everything. And yet the daily time frame will stay in this bullish and give the price a lot of room before it's going to change its signal. The 12-hour, much the same thing, nice and bullish from here. The 4-hour, nice and bullish from here as well. Even if we come against this cloud, it's still looking pretty good. The 1 hour time frame is more noisy, and as we are breaking below the cloud, or the blue line is crossing back above the red and we're moving above the cloud here, this really confirms the bull or bear stance again from here. So the MACD, the RSI, and the Ichimoku Cloud are really giving us a clear point of action here. Starting off with the weekly Bollinger Bands, we can see our pillar bottoms right here. There were only 3 of them, one back in 2015 as well. Now prices have also moved above our midline so that we are in a bullish stance. So long as we hold above this midline, that is one of the key definitions of the bull market. Now let's zoom into the daily to see if we're staying above it. We do have potential mean reversion sell signal right there on the daily. It came outside of the 3rd standard deviation and pulled back inside the 2nd standard deviation. So this really could be a top formation here. And let's look into the 12-hour time frame. It was also a potential mean reversion sell signal on the 12-hour, which makes it more weighty for me. And that now that it is in between the 2nd standard deviation, it is time to watch for that sell signal. But should we be continuing up and we have all 4 bands pointing upward, that gives me the idea that this isn't a mean reversion trade, but the beginning of the trend moving upward. So if we go into the 4-hour time frame, we can see that it didn't do as clean a mean reversion at the very same time as the 12-hour and the daily did. And now we are in a very narrow band. While the 12-hour bands are upward trending, the 4-hour are all tightening up, which tells us that there is a big move building up here. And it doesn't tell us the direction, so we'll have to pay attention. One thing I do want to move back to the 4-hour and note that I want to pay attention to is the potential for it to do a mean reversion signal this way and then the blast off higher. So as it comes down to these levels, we'll watch for the bullish divergence in the RSI short-term and the MACD short-term crossovers, should that be coming down to these levels. And if you want to watch through that as it's happening, be sure to come and join us over on our Discord chat, where we follow through these patterns throughout the day as it's happening. And I want to finish the video today with a look at Bitcoin dominance and a comparison of what's going on with the altcoins and what could be coming next. While there is no way to know which way Bitcoin dominance is going to go, if it is going to drop, we are going to see it in two different places. First of all, the altcoin versus the US dollar chart is going to be breaking higher and making gains on Bitcoin here in the background, perhaps while Bitcoin goes sideways. Second, we're going to see Bitcoin versus the altcoins start to really take off. So as Bitcoin goes sideways and the US dollar component of these altcoins starts to break above those bottom formations, we can expect that the altcoins are going to be pulling up off of these lows that they've just hit right now. And in the other scenario, if Bitcoin dominance is rising, I expect that we're going to see the US dollar value of the altcoins actually breaking below these tops or really lagging and going sideways while Bitcoin continues to climb upwards. And should our US dollar value of the alts all go sideways while Bitcoin continues to break higher, we are going to see it with the rest of the altcoins breaking down below these levels, and we're going to have a lot more fails and near fail status coins. And just to finish up, we're going to see those data when the alerts start to pick back up and start transitioning into the hold status. We're going to have verification that this altcoin bull market is strong on the next run up when we see something like this, that the alerts are going up at the same time that the hold status coins are going up. Not something like this where the alerts are going up and staying sideways while the hold status coins are not growing. So when these are both growing at the same time, we know we're going into a legit, really good bull market for the alts. And it's another time to try to see if this is the bottom, that we are going to get those big blow off tops coming in. And finally, to close, we can see a blue is crossed below the red on the 1 hour Ichimoku Cloud. We've crossed below the midline on the 4 hour Bollinger Bands, and we have broken this 1, 2, 3 top formation on the short-term time frame. So we're watching for the MACD now to cross back positive and for this to reject these lows and to start building higher off of this. For me, the best scenario is Bitcoin going sideways and Bitcoin dominance dropping while the altcoins start to surge up in the US dollar values. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, come and join us on Discord. We're always talking about this stuff. Thanks for joining. Stay safe and stay profitable. Cheers.